pig cage, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? For most of us, it's this. The commercially manufactured cage. What I like to call the pet store cage. So we're anxious to get our pig home and all set up. So first thing we do is we put that nest box in there, make it nice and cozy. Nest box of our pig glue. We want them to get plenty to eat, don't we? So we're going to put the hay rack right in there. Give him plenty to eat. Make sure he stays hydrated. So we're going to want to add a water bottle to this. There we go. Nice water bottle. So there it is. It's all set up. Pig paradise. Just put a little bedding in there and we're all set to go. So now all we need to do is add our pig, Charlie in this case. There he is, Charlie. He's all set up now in his guinea pig cage. Does that look like he's got a lot of room? Not really. Okay. Some people say that having your guinea pig live in one of these cages is like a person living in their bathroom for their entire life. To me, it's almost like more like a front porch. You come out of your house and you have to live on something the size of your front porch. There he goes back in his house. A new technology called CNC or cubes and coroplast cages has emerged over the last couple of years. And it's called CNC because the grids that form the cage were originally used to build storage cubes, and coroplast because the black plastic bins are made of corrugated plastic with the brand name of Coroplast. I like to call the CNC cage the popular secret, and it's popular because there's thousands of them out there that have been built over the last few years, either as do-it-yourself projects or ordered as kits. And a secret because probably 90% of guinea pigs are still incarcerated in these small pet store cages because that's what's being mass-produced today. So the purpose of today's video is to change your concept of what a guinea pig cage is from this to this. A much nicer and healthier environment. Now admittedly, this is a very large cage. At Bluestone Commerce, this is one of the largest cages we make. It's meant to hold about 6 guinea pigs. And so we make a variety of cages, and you can certainly get a smaller one than this. But a point I'd like to make is we don't make any that are this small. We just consider this to be an unhealthy environment for your guinea pig. Now your guinea pig's life is going to be a lot better once you've gotten them into a bigger cage, a CNC cage or otherwise, but we believe that here at Bluestone Commerce that a guinea pig cage should make your life a lot better too. And one problem we see with a lot of cages, and CNC cages included, is that you're provided with quite a small opening to work with. One problem we see with having a small opening is just reaching in and grabbing them. You can only get one hand in there. You can't get both hands. They tend to scurry around. Now a cage of this size may have as much as 10 to 20 pounds of litter in it. So when it comes time to clean your cage and you have to shovel 10 to 20 pounds of litter out of this thing, and you have to reach the entire cage and pull 10 to 20 pounds of wet bedding out of this thing, gets to be a tedious chore. And then after you've done that, you've got to clean the cage bottom with a vinegar and water solution using a sponge, and you got to be able to reach this whole entire area through this tiny opening. And following that, you're going to replace the bedding, 10 to 20 pounds, again shoveling it in through this tiny opening and spreading it over, make sure it reaches all areas of this cage. So this whole enterprise becomes quite a tedious proposition working through this tiny hole. It's just not the optimum situation. Now this particular cage is called the Bluestone Commerce Large Size Colonial Homestead. It happens to be a 2x3 multi-level configuration, and we call it the Colonial because just like a colonial house, it has 2 living levels or 2 stories. And on the bottom you notice there's an integral storage pedestal. And what that is for local storage of hay or food or cleaning supplies. Also, the cage sits on top of it. You can see it's attached, and it raises it up to waist level, which is a very convenient level for interacting with your pigs. In addition, this cage has a few innovative solutions to that small opening issue that we just discussed. Now to begin with, the entire top or roof of this cage is a lid that swings right up out of the way, gives you complete and total access to this whole upper level. Makes it much easier to get in there with both hands to pick up your pig. Easier to do routine maintenance, changing the water bottles, feeding them. Also makes cage cleaning a lot easier. In terms of access, ease of access of this level, this is a very good system. Now this large lid obviously makes it a lot easier to clean your cage, easier to get in here, shovel bedding out, pour bedding in. But we've gone one better than that. What we've done is we've taken the front of this cage, made it into a tailgate, kind of like the tailgate on a pickup truck, folds right down. And the front of the bin folds down as well. And if I just go right down here to my storage bin, get my supplies out, then you can place a wastebasket right in front of this thing and just simply scrape the bedding right out. Don't even really have to touch it. Then when it's all scraped out, just clean. You can reach everywhere on this whole top layer easily with your vinegar and water solution to clean it out. And then later on, very easy to dump the new litter right back in. So a lot easier to clean this cage than those cages with those very small access holes. Now the tailgate made that first level so easy to clean. It would be crazy not to design one into the second level, which is exactly what we did, of course. So we have a tailgate on the second level that folds down. The Coroplast bin folds down as well. What we do is just swing this ramp up and out of the way, slide the bin out so it sits over your wastebasket. And once again, we can just scrape the bedding right out with no problem. You can reach all areas easily with a sponge with our vinegar and water solution. And it's very easy to pour our bedding right back in. Okay? So much easier to maintain this cage than those other cages that use those small access holes. Now this is a connector of choice for most CNC or Coroplast and Cube cage sellers. It's a simple press-on connector. You just simply press it on, and actually that's the advantage of this thing. It's really easy to apply. You just push it on, and to us at Bluestone Commerce, that's also the disadvantage of this thing, because if you can just press it on, you can also pull it off, or it can vibrate off. And so what we've done is we believe we've upgraded. And this is the connector we use. This is a tie wrap, or you may know it as a zip tie or cable tie. Very simple device. But the advantage of this is this has a 50-pound tensile strength. Now here we have a couple of excerpts from a video that I made previously comparing the strength of press-on connectors that a lot of sellers use to put together their CNC cages. Here's a 10-pound weight on a joint that's put together with two press-on connectors. As you can see, 10 pounds makes that joint fail quickly. Now here's a joint made with two tie wraps, two cable ties or tie wraps, and there's 50 pounds on this, not 10 pounds, 50 pounds. And I'm going to attempt to lift that 50 pounds. And you can see I have difficulty holding that, but that joint is solid. It's still together. Those last demonstrations should have made it obvious. Cable ties or tie wraps make an extremely sturdy and strong cage. This is a cage that's going to last not only for years, but for decades. Now around where I live, a cage like this costs somewhere in the $35 to $45 range at a pet store or at the mall. So you can just imagine what a cage this size would run. I mean, that's if you could even find one that large. It's nearly impossible to find something like this at a pet store. Closest thing I've seen are those exotic bird cages, which are a little smaller than this and run in the $700 to $800 range, which is far less than you would pay for this cage. Obviously, this cage is a lot of cage for the money, and when you consider that the average guinea pig lives around 5 years or so, the investment in this cage works out to be only about $3 a month. And that's if you only own one pig. If you own multiple pigs, then you probably wouldn't be looking at a cage this large unless you owned more than one pig. Let's say you owned 4 pigs and you had to buy 4 pet store cages, you'd spend about the same as you would to buy this cage anyway. And plus you get the additional local storage space on the bottom and that pedestal, and all the convenience and time-saving features that we've shown you. And even if you only own 1 pig and you just wanted to be a very happy pig, you're only talking about an extra $2.50 a month over buying that small pet store cage. And just imagine how much happier her life would be and how much easier yours would be.